Welcome back to Game Changers. This segment is taking place here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm attending a conference with the Angels dos Brazil. It's been a very informative conference, and we've had the opportunity here to meet a couple of the people on the board of the Angels do Brazil. One person we're going to speak to right now is Rodrigo Menezes of the Hike Menezes. Rodrigo, thank you for coming by and speaking with us. You've got a great group here. I'm very impressed with what I've seen taking place in Brazil here as far as the rise of entrepreneurship. It's quite different, though. It's a new movement that's taking place. Could you give us an overview?
Yeah, what is happening is that we had a culture that was very focused on to have the young guys like going to leaving universities and joining government, and then to work for the government because this was the best thing to do. And then we had a second age that was basically, okay, it's no longer work for the government, but work for multinationals, Brazilian multinationals, foreign multinationals, and reach a C-level, whatever. And now we have like a new change, which is these guys that are leaving university, they want to become entrepreneurs. So, and not only that, we are also seeing a more mature guys, 35, 40, 45, 50, these guys that were at C-levels or were managers at multinationals saying, you know what, I know a lot about this business, and I think that there is a vacuum here that I can occupy. I will form my own company, I'll become an entrepreneur. So we have really a boom in terms of entrepreneurship and startups in the country. And you can see that, you brief that. So it's changing, and it's totally different from what I saw. I did the first venture capital deals in Brazil late 90s, before the bubble, and what we are seeing 15 years ago, 15 years after, it's a new model, it's a new photo.
That's great to hear that you have both groups demographically. You have the young people coming out of school willing to engage with their effort, their energy, their creativity, but you really have the more experienced C-level people in the 35, 45-year-old range with domain experience and corporate management under their belt saying, we're going to go out and do something different. That's remarkable. We hear all the press is talking about the young people who are coming out, but it's that second group that actually produces tremendous value and innovation also. How about the investor group supporting it? Are they finding enough support financially to get these businesses launching, or are they using their own funds?
So we have both, but we now have money, and actually there is a thing that we always say when we are at conference. We say that there is money. So, and there is money to invest. It's just a matter to have a good project, and you're going to have VCs investing in good projects in Brazil, angel investors, VCs. You're going to see seed money, you're going to see public money. So you have some incentives, some granted money that is being given by public authorities, agencies like FINEP, for example, and you have programs that were created also by the government. There's one called the Startup Brazil that's basically given 200,000 reais for a startup, Brazilian or foreign startup, to build a project, to build a startup, to build a product, and then of course go to the market. So we are seeing, and once again, to make a comparison with the first VC deals I did at late 90s, we have so much more money now available to these guys. What sometimes is hard is to match a good project and the money. So to have the smart money, doesn't matter if it's still early stage, angel, or VC or seed, but is this project a real good project? And if you find much more when this project is handled and managed by a more mature entrepreneur.
That's true.
So, and is the statistics.
Yeah.
So.
We were at the pitch session with the conference yesterday, and I was impressed with the quality of the presentations. That people were very practiced, very good, very committed, mostly the younger people, but there are a few people that were a little further along in their careers doing an excellent job. Are the people yesterday that we saw typically participating in Startup Brazil, or are they in a separate funding mechanism?
From both. I mean, they're from both. And just for you to understand, the Startup Brazil, actually, the program has a condition which is for this project, for this startup, be accelerated by an accelerator, a local accelerator.
It's an incredible situation that will compound itself,
Yes.
meaning more people come in and it builds up a business locally that will hire people, train people, give them good wages, and let them go on and start either grow that business or go out and start new businesses.
Absolutely correct. I'll tell you a good example that's happening. I mean, I have my own law firm, so we represent more than 20 VCs, foreign and local VCs, and more than 80 entrepreneurs. And every entrepreneur that goes there, even if the entrepreneur is not, you see that the project still needs a lot to improve. I mean, you spend 1 hour with him, like giving him tips and giving him, you know what, why don't you do this or don't you do that? Let me introduce you to a person that is more oriented to your business. So even if he doesn't, in the end, he decides not to become an entrepreneur because whatever reason, at least so we are trying to build something that will create value to everyone.
Right. So you're actually coaching, doing some coaching.
Oh, we do.
As
We
a-
do
as a legal
coach.
firm.
Yeah, as a legal firm, well, I have several hats here. So I'm board member of Anjos do Brasil. So in this, we are fostering innovation, we are fostering building the ecosystem. So this is what we need to help. I coordinate. I'm the chairman of the Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Venture Capital Committee of ABVCAP, that is the Brazilian Venture Capital Association, where we are now creating educational programs to entrepreneurs. So it's to make sure that they are following the right steps. If they succeed or not, this is an answer that we won't have until the end. And we also at the firm being part of this. So I'm mentor at a lot of accelerators at Endeavor. So as being part of this, I mean, we will. It's a goodwill. It's something that you give granted because you want to build the ecosystem, but also from the commercial standpoint. I mean, if you're building a better ecosystem, it's coming back to you. In the end, it will come back. I mean, and for the good reasons.
Yeah.
So this is great.
You're the perfect person for me to ask this question to. Because you worked with so many venture capital firms and now you're working with the angel community, are the investments, the documentation, the structure of the investments, a common share, preferred share structure, are those more or less the same as we have in the U.S., or are they different?
Yes, they are very similar. So our terms and conditions are very similar to the U.S., to what you find in the Silicon Valley. But of course that we tropicalize certain terms, but just like the UK will do in the UK and the French and Israel, because there are certain things that are more local. But you do find, I mean, the convertible debt, if it's a very early stage, or if it's a shareholders agreement, if it's a direct equity investment, a shareholders agreement, an investment agreement, the terms and conditions, you have the veto rights, you have non-dilution clauses, so you have arbitration, you have tag along to make sure that the investor, of course, has liquidity. It's pretty much similar, but with not only tropicalizing certain things and with certain nuances, which is here the investor has a little bit more power than what you find in the Valley, because in the Valley you see a lot of innovation, a lot of good companies, so sometimes it's tougher, I mean, the discussion between entrepreneurs and investors. Here it's more, they look for the investors, they put the rules on the table and say, you know, I need to protect my money, and these are the rules. But once again, they're pretty much standard, and you'd be familiarized if you read a Brazilian term sheet or a Brazilian shareholders agreement, you're going to note that the general terms and conditions and rules are very similar to what you're adopting in the U.S.
And most of the VCs are from the U.S., are they from Europe also? I just wondered the composition in general.
No, we have more. We have a lot of foreign VCs doing deals in Brazil. We have a lot of Brazilian VCs. So nowadays, in 2006, they created a program called Criatec by the Brazilian State-Owned Development Bank, which is called BNDES, which was basically that they pick a general manager, general partner to become, I mean, you're going to handle this and make investments in innovation. And this has created like a whole wave of new Brazilian VCs. So supported by the government, by the BNDES, and by FINEP, that is connected to the Ministry of Science and Technology. And you also, so you have local VCs doing deals, and you have foreign VCs doing deals, and you have corporate VCs. So we have Microsoft Ventures, Qualcomm Ventures, Intel Capital. So we have corporate VCs doing deals here as well. So not only Brazilian VCs, foreign Silicon Valley and non-Silicon Valley VCs, and corporate ventures.
We've had a session at some of our angel capital conferences called The Rise of the Corporate Investor. And I happen to just be a believer that this is going to be a very positive change. The corporations are now getting in and looking for early innovation. So I can see why the corporations are coming here, because it's a big market. You have 200 million people in the country, but you also have all of South America as a reachable market.
Yeah, I do agree. And actually, to give an example about the software industry, we have TOTUS. TOTUS is probably now the largest Brazilian enterprise software company. Is 1 billion plus, and they have TOTUS Ventures. So they are investing. Also, I mean, they have TOTUS like doing M&A deals and acquisitions and selling their products, of course, to companies, but also doing venture investments.
It's really good to see that the local large companies are setting up the venture arm and that development arm too.
They're doing that, and I can give you more examples. We have Embraer that just raised a fund that, of course, focus on technology, aerospace, and defense, because Embraer is an aircraft manufacturer. And you also have Natura, which is a cosmetic company, the Brazilian largest cosmetic company, I think 9 billion total revenues, that they are also like investing in startups, in projects focused on startups. You have Telefonica with Wayra. So you have a bunch of players, a bunch of corporate players that are now seeing this as an opportunity.
Are you the major legal firm, law firm here handling all this business? Are you the power broker for the Brazilian venture capital angel?
We do a lot of.
You do a lot.
We do a lot. We do a lot. I can't.
And you're the partner. Your name's on the letterhead here, and so you're the guy I would go to if I needed to get something done here.
I hope so, Jim. We are here to help you. We'll be more than glad to help you. Once again, we have a lot of expertise working in these deals and for these guys and to collaborate with. I'll let you know once anyone contacts me. I'll get back to you and say, Jim, I mean, it has worked.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed it, and I wish you every success.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I wish you all the best as well. Thank you, guys.